Hello everyone, my name is Cynthia. I was a Chevening 2018 scholar. I'm doing this video because I've been getting lots of questions from friends and followers asking, various questions about what's this Chevening scholarship about. Can I apply if I graduated with a second class lower? Can I apply if I had a HND? Do I need to have a scholarship abroad to apply? Some of all those questions are the questions I will be answering in this video. The first question I normally get is when people ask me, "Oh, what's this Chevening scholarship about?" You need to know that there are three core things the Chevening scholarship is about, in my opinion. Firstly, Chevening scholarship is not just one of those scholarships out there. This Chevening scholarship is specifically for leaders, people who want to lead in the future, people who have led in some capacity in the past. So Chevening scholarship is a scholarship for leaders. It's not just a random scholarship, meaning if you cannot demonstrate your leadership quality in the application process, chances are you will not be selected for the scholarship. The second thing Chevening scholarship is about those who have strong academic background. So it's for those who have like a second class upper in terms of being equivalent to the UK grading, or those who have a first class. So it means if you have a second class lower or a third class or even a pass, then you're not eligible for Chevening scholarship. The third thing a Chevening scholarship is about is that Chevening scholarship is for those who have a strong future career plan. Meaning, if to be able to understand Chevening scholarship, you need to know that it's a scholarship that focuses on those who want to do something very big in the future in terms of leadership capacity. So these three key things I talked about, the first of them being the Chevening scholarship is for those who are leaders. Secondly, Chevening scholarship is for those who have strong academic background. And thirdly, Chevening scholarship is for those who have strong future career plans. These are the three core things, in my opinion, and as seen on the Chevening website. These are the three core things that Chevening scholarship is about. The second question I get a whole lot of times is from people asking, how do I know if I'm qualified to apply for the Chevening scholarship? So when you go to the Chevening website, there's a list of eligibility criteria, which I'm going to, um, share with you. One of the key things about the Chevening scholarship is that it's for those with a second class upper and above. Meaning, if you have a second class lower or third class, you're not eligible for a Chevening scholarship. Another thing is that to be eligible to apply for the Chevening scholarship, you have to be from the countries that are on the eligibility list. There are countries, for example, Nigeria, Ghana. So as a person, you need to go and find out, is my country part of the countries, where Chevening select its candidates from? That's the second thing you need to find out. Another thing you need to know is that Chevening scholarship is for those who have had 2 years post-study experience, meaning after you have graduated. So let's say you graduated in 2016, you must have worked for 2 years down to 2018. That's if you worked at a stretch for 2 years. Or if you graduated in 2013, maybe you didn't get a job immediately and you got a job in 2014 and you worked for like 1 year, and you lost your job in 2015 and you got another job in 2017 and you worked for 1 year and you made it up to 2 years. You must have a 2 years post-study experience before you're eligible to apply for the Chevening scholarship. So those 2 years don't really need to be like together at a stretch. It's possible, it was broken down into months and in different organizations. It doesn't have to be like from one organization. Another thing you need to know about the Chevening scholarship is mandatory that you come back and spend 2 years after you study in your home country. So for example, as a Nigerian student, as a Chevening Nigerian student, after my study, I must spend at least 2 years in Nigeria. So if you are not willing to do that, then you are not eligible for a Chevening scholarship. And two other things that make you eligible for a Chevening scholarship. I would like to say these things come a bit later. You know, they have to do they are the English test and getting an admission in a UK school. So there are things you need to work towards. And for example, for the 2020 application, you need to meet the requirement by July 2020. So um, there's still like a lot of time, if you ask me. So I'll say focus on the application first. Another thing lots of people ask is, do I need to have an admission in a school before I apply for Chevening scholarship? Well, not necessarily at the point of application, but the thing you need to know is that you must have made inquiries about schools. So, for example, I studied mathematics education at University College London. But at the point when I was applying for my Chevening scholarship, I had to go look out for schools because the Chevening scholarship requires that you give information about the three likely schools and courses you want to go to. It doesn't mean you cannot put like one school twice, but perhaps like different courses. So I'll just take it that you need three schools. So I wanted to study mathematics education, and I looked out for three schools, schools that I liked, schools that I was attracted to in some sort of way. So when I checked the internet and looked at the ranking of schools, kind of thing I wanted out of the master's course, I found UCL, University College London, I found University of Bristol and University of East Anglia to be the three schools that I had interest in to study mathematics education. So I found those schools. I hadn't applied to them as at the point when I applied for the Chevening scholarship, but at least I found the schools, and I needed to be able to fill that in and give more details about why I wanted to go to those schools. So it's very important to know what schools you are most likely going to go to. So, and you also need to know you cannot change those schools. So you don't need to have an admission in those schools, but you need to know those schools. I don't know if that's clear. Another question lots of people ask is, do I need my transcript to apply? Well, your transcript is very important, but you don't need it to apply for the Chevening scholarship. So you can apply for the Chevening scholarship and start processing your transcript. I know that for students in Nigeria, a lot of times getting transcript is like very difficult because of some delays in schools. So you can start the application process while um, you can start the application for your transcript after you have or during the period you've applied for your Chevening scholarship, because you're definitely going to need it at the end of the day when finalizing your admission with the school you have chosen. A lot of UK schools give you admission even without your transcript, but then you need to be able to at least show your statement of result or certificate. And when you get an admission without a transcript, what you get most likely will be a conditional admission, most times on the condition that you need to provide your transcripts before your admission becomes unconditional. So transcript is important, but it is not very important at the application stage of your Chevening scholarship. Another question a lot of people ask is, do I need to have the English test result before I apply for Chevening, like the TOEFL and IELTS? My answer is no. You don't need it now. You need it after you've crossed because Chevening scholarship is in stages. And again, okay, I'll give my personal experience. I applied for Chevening scholarship 3 times before I got the scholarship, and the English test exam expires in 2 years. So imagine if the first year I wrote the English test, the first year I applied for the scholarship was the first year I wrote the English test. By the time I was applying the third time, I would have had the need to write another English test because the one I would have had would have been expired by that time. You get what I mean? So English test is not really what you want to do until perhaps you've been longlisted or shortlisted, in the whole Chevening process. So you don't waste the result in case you need to like try more times. But it's not a bad thing to have your English test result ahead. If you have it, good and fine, beautiful, lovely, but in my opinion, it's not something you need to have before you apply for the Chevening scholarship. It's something you can, you know write along the way. But normally the Chevening program gives a deadline for submission of English test exam, which usually is around June, July of the following year. Another thing a lot of people ask is, oh, do I need my international passport to apply for Chevening scholarship? Yes, you do need to have an international passport because you need to fill in your passport number, and when applying to the universities, they require it. So you need to have your international passport before you know you apply for the Chevening scholarship. So it's very important. But however, it doesn't mean, because the Chevening process is a long one. I mean, like the application process itself. So it doesn't mean you cannot like create an account, start applying before getting an international passport. You can get it. You can start the process of getting the international passport, but you need to have it before you submit your Chevening application. That's what I mean. Another question lots of people ask is, oh, can I apply as a HND student? What it says on the side, I have heard reports about a few HND graduates who have gotten into the Chevening Scholarship Program. The Chevening Scholarship Program requires someone who has an equivalent of a UK has an equivalence of UK second class upper and above. So it means if you have a HND that fits that description on the site, then you are definitely eligible to apply. So these are like some of the key questions I've had. Just in case you have more questions, you can always leave them in the comments and I can answer them for you. I just hope I was able to enlighten you on some of the requirements or some of your questions and concerns about the Chevening Scholarship. Thank you.